Hello, hello. All right, let's make sure we're in tune. Here's a high G. At this point, kind of try to hear bing, ding, ding, ding. Trying to hear the high note and then have the other ones come in line. So the note right below this is the C. Just try and think lower. G, C, E, A. G, C, E, and A. All right, so the chords we know thus far are going to be a C major. When we get a new chord, we just take our thumb and go, make sure every note is popping out right. We can play our C major in a couple different ways. The reason why we've learned how to do that with our type 2 lesson, the teeter-totters, is so we can just switch in between these different functions and be able to play on the one while keeping right hand rhythm over here. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So our C major is one of them. C minor bars all three of these, so it's a partial bar, leaves this high G open. Now the key is C major, C, D, E, F, G. G is the fifth. In a C minor, C, D, E flat, F, G, doesn't change the G. So that G note that we hear kind of works over the top of that C minor. However, if you were to go up or down either way and do the same thing, it doesn't work the same way that this does because that G isn't in those chords. So what we had talked about is this note right here, the C note, is the same as this note right here, the C note. When we play it with our one finger, skip the 4th fret and the 2nd finger, and then play our 3rd finger on the 5th fret, we get the same note. Now you'll notice when you play a high A, open, and then you put your 2nd finger on the 2nd fret for the A minor, which is a chord today, that A and this A are the same, which means this B flat and this B flat, B, B, C, C, C sharp, D, so on and so forth, okay? If that's a little whoop, we'll reiterate this kind of nonsense, but here's the takeaway. If this is a C major and this is a C minor, that means that this is a C sharp major and this is a C sharp minor. Awesome. So what we're going to be doing is seeing a couple new chords today, and each one of these suckers gets to be played 2 different ways with the teeter-totter exercise, and then scooch it all the way up the fretboard. Here's what I mean. The example is with a C major. Here's a C major. This string, this string, this string. G, C, and E are open. In fact, that makes a C major. C, E, G, 1, 3, 5, plus the C up top, just to double up that low C note, gives us C major. If I were to play this C major with my pinky, scoot it up to a C sharp, and then bar that C, G, C, E, G to make it a C sharp, E sharp, G sharp, I would have C sharp major, then D major, then D sharp major, then E major, F sharp, G, G sharp, so on and so forth, using just that shape, moving up this shape all the way up the fretboard. The other shape that we had been working on was our F major shape. Our F major shape has our 1st finger on the 1st fretboard playing the E string at the 1st fret, giving us an F note. And then we're going to take our 2nd finger and play the 2nd fret on the 2nd fret, 2nd fret on the high G string right close to our nose to get an A note. So between the F, the A, the open C, and then this other A note, we get FAC, which gives us our major triad. F, G, A, B, C for F, F-A-C. For an F minor, we would flatten that A. So here's the takeaway. F major, and then F minor moves this F note to the A flat, and then puts the note that was on the A right here, skips the fret, and then plays the C note at the 3rd fret, giving us this. I personally prefer to play with my pinky there, because that feels a little funky right there on my hand. However, completely acceptable. Since we're playing each one of these chords with different fingerings, and F major can be played with 2 different fingers, dare I say 3 different fingerings. However, I would never really play an F sharp like that, but the idea still holds the same. If you can play an F like this and play an F like this, you can scoot it up, bar, and play an F sharp, then a G, G sharp, A, so on and so forth. So if you can play an F minor like this, and then teeter-totter it so it's like this, you could scoot that up, put down your 1st finger on the string that was missing, and then you get an F sharp, G, and it keeps going. So the chords we're learning today, like the C major, the C minor, the F major, the F minor. The other chord of the day, A major, has a C sharp and an A, lot like the F major, except it has a first finger here to give us that nice, warm, rich tone. If we take our first finger off that C sharp note and it opens it up to a C natural, we have an A minor. You can definitely tell. And then the last chord that we went over today, well, actually there's two last chords we went over today, was the D minor, which looks like an F major. So we have our F finger and our A finger, except we're going to take our third finger and lay it down on the second fret of the thickest string, giving us the F major plus that D note, gives us a D minor. So thus far we have, I'll get really close so we see them all. If you could play them with me, that'd be great. C major. D minor is an F major with our third finger right underneath here on the D string. We did not talk about this chord, but you watched me play it, and I did it in the video for Death Cab for Cutie, I think was the request. It's an E minor. I love this chord because it's so linear. We're going to take our first finger, put it on the second fret of the A string. Second finger is going to go on the E string at the third fret, and then on the fourth fret, we're going to be playing the C. So we're going boop, 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 all the way down in a fashion, skipping over a fret on each finger and then jumping down a string. You can play that G string open, and once again, if you play this in any other way, that high G doesn't really work because it's in the chord of G, E, F, G. It's the third. So blah, 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 blah. What it comes down to, C major, D minor, E minor. These two notes, the D minor and the E minor, we didn't really talk too much about today in session, but if you can figure it out from this video, these are a major one, C major, a minor second, D minor, a minor third, E minor. You already know the F for a major fourth. One of the chords we haven't gone over is this G major, which incorporates our first finger on the second fret on the thickest string, the C string, to make a C, C sharp, D. And we bookend our second finger up top here, leaving this E string open. And then we wrap our third finger around to play that third fret on the G note, giving us a G, B, D, G, A, B, C, D. Get rid of 2 and 4, G, B, and D. That's the G note, there's the B note, and there's the D note. C, D, E, F, G. A minor is one of our chords from the day because we know the A major, move the C sharp, we get an A minor. And then our B diminished is formed by playing that F note right here and then putting our finger on the second fret of the C string for a D note and then bookending up top with the B. It's the same two notes that were bookend for the G, except for we're going to be using those in correlation with this F note rather than the G note. When we go through all these, it looks like this. C major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major, A minor, B diminished, and C. When I scoot that up in bar, I can get a C sharp major, D sharp minor, E sharp minor, F sharp major, G sharp major, A sharp minor, B sharp diminished, and C sharp. When I do this, I can make the same patterns all the way up this fretboard just by scooting up and adding my bar here and playing the same chords with the rest of these three fingers. There are other ways to do it, but that's the way I teach. It's the easiest way to learn. Once you learn this system of just all these 7 chords in the major chords and then all the 7 minor chords, you quite literally can play almost every song that's out there today. There's only a couple hard tunes like jazz and like some church music, some music that modulates and stuff like that. But quite literally, every song that you'll ever need to play will be based around these chords. And if not, you will have the foundation to be able to take the concept of, well, if this is an A major, and I know how to take one finger off and put one finger here and then put another finger on, and then you practice teeter-totters by going 1, switch, 2, and 3, and 4, and A, switch, 2, and 3, and 4, and A major, switch the hands, keep the right hand going. And when we bring it all the way back, we get these 2 chords. The reason why I teach in this method, if you can go back and forth doing these between chords, that means that you can also scoot this up. Notice how I took that same A major shape, scooched it up a half step, and then did a full bar on that first fret, giving myself a B flat major, B major, C major. Now, C major. Different ways to play the same chords. Then we work on inversions, and then we work on a whole plethora of other things. Then I ask you if you would like to learn how to sight read, to look at just basic notes on a piece of paper and get a gist of what the song sounds like without even having a clue. It's a really cool thing to do, and it feels like we're speaking a foreign language, which it really is, music. You learn a whole set of keys which allow you to think differently. I'm really hoping that these lessons open up a broader span of what music is and can be, and I'm looking forward to working on the music with you. So keep it going with these. Practice your teeter-totters, practice your spider exercises, and remember, C major, C minor, F major, F minor, A major, A minor, and then the addition of B diminished and D minor today. We can play these with different fingerings by taking one fingering off and putting it back on. Something you want to make sure that your fingers aren't all doing the bloop where they're falling down flat. You want to push them up straight and make sure they're super strong, okay? It was wonderful seeing you. I won't see you again until the 4th, but when we do, I'll see you. I'll give you a text on when it is. I can't remember the time at this time. 10:35, I think it is. Other than that, I will give you a text and a reminder on that, and it was wonderful seeing you again. Aloha.